What's up guys, my name is Andy and I'm a self-taught software developer from the UK. I've been working remotely for the last 2 years, and during that time I've come across quite a few misconceptions and myths about working remotely. So today I'd like to debunk 5 of those myths. Myth 1, productivity and deadlines. When I speak to some people about working remotely, they often say that if they were to work from home, that they'd probably sit in front of the TV all day and wouldn't get a lot of work done. I can tell you that the reality for most remote workers is that this isn't really the case. Our bosses are expecting results, and as a developer, my boss can see how much code I submit, what work I'm submitting. So if I was to sit in front of the TV all day and not get a lot of work done, I wouldn't have my job for very long. I usually find that I'm able to actually get a lot more work done while working remotely compared to office-based work. This is mostly due to the fact that while you're working in an office, there's a lot of distractions, other people, people talking on the phone, people walking past, conversations, that kind of thing. While working from home, I can shut myself in my own office, I can work on reducing my distractions, and if you've got the self-discipline, you can cut off any social media or anything like that and just concentrate on your work for the 9-hour workday. Myth 2, contact and communication. Something I hear quite a lot from older people is that remote workers are going to be impossible to contact. How are you supposed to have a conversation with your team if half of them aren't in the office? That's a big misconception, considering every remote worker is going to have a tool such as Skype or Slack installed on their laptop. If you really need to talk to somebody urgently, pick up the phone and call them. It takes about as much time as it would to speak to them in an office environment, so this is a big misconception. Myth 3, costs. Some people seem to think that remote workers are going to cost the company more money. This isn't really the case, considering that remote workers are probably going to save the company money in certain ways. For example, the company is going to require quite a bit less office space for the remote workers. A lot of companies have privileges like free coffee, free drinks. You're going to spend less money on those privileges because there's less people in the office. And finally, some remote workers will actually take a lower salary if they're given the privilege to be able to work remotely. All in all, working remotely allows a company to generally save quite a bit of money. Myth 4, company culture. In my experience, even if I'm not face-to-face with my colleagues, I'm still able to develop the same amount of respect for my colleagues that I would if I was working from the office. I guess this could be something unique to developers because we're quite used to working with people online, the open source community, that kind of thing. But I genuinely feel that respect and company culture can be developed in a remote company. Myth 5, working remotely is lonely. At the last few coding meetups I attended, I put the question to all remote developers: do they feel lonely while working remotely? Now, almost every extrovert that I came across, people who would class themselves as an extrovert, would almost always say yes, they felt lonely while working remotely. I guess people who need that human contact really struggle with working remotely because from personal experience, you're going to be spending 9 hours a day without anyone, without human contact. You're going to be shut off in a room alone. Introverted people, like myself, actually don't mind working remotely. I don't feel lonely. I do things in the evening. I go to the gym, I go out with friends, go out with the girlfriend, that kind of thing in the evening. That's pretty much okay with me. I don't need people around me 24/7. I'm okay, perfectly fine working remotely without feeling lonely. So there you have it. That's my 5 myths of working remotely debunked. Have a great day.